Good afternoon, my name is Kate Darchenko, and today I wanted to explain you why it's so important to build new political forces in Ukraine, and how it helped to fight with corruption, monopolies and oligarch influence in our country. As you know, in our country, after the period of independence, so we are quite young country, we have such problem as not stable political system. We're still on the way of democracy development, and of course we have quite big number of criminal groups in Ukraine. We have more than 400 political forces, but mostly of them is fake political forces who used only for influence for election process, for example selling some influence in commissions and so on and so forth. And also we have a problem of oligarchs, because they have TV channels, because they buy most successful political forces, and because they don't wanna work in as usual in developed country by signing lobby documents and by transparency register. They wanna just buy political forces and buy members of parliament to have influence in parliament as well, and in local councils, because of course any oligarch economy can exist when they have dotation from country and when they have influence to social opinion with they're the biggest media channel and media empire. And now we also, I and other people, other political forces, other teams wanted to develop new type of political work by developing new political forces. What's the main idea and why it will be different, why it can be solution for rising of our country, for economy development, for going to better future for people in villages, because mostly people in Ukraine are very poor. So why we think that it can be solution? So firstly we must understand that our political forces found rise money from middle and small businesses, from individuals, and we connect many individuals to finance our work in Ukraine. Also, second part, it's that we really communicate with voters. For example, on first step of our work of our team, it's national platform, and I know that other political forces also have such experience. We collect more than 14,000 signatures for developing our political force. So it's also important that we communicate in villages, in towns and cities, and we do it like grassroots campaign by direct communication. And after this we build also really structures of our little offices and enterprises all over Ukraine. And it's very important to fight with oligarchic political forces, because we must have this structure all over the Ukraine, because we haven't, for example, influence to big TV channels. Next step, it's of course our ideas, and we work in we called it committees. Committees, it's work groups where we develop plans of to every sector. For example, in economy group we join people who are professionals in economy, in budgeting, in developing laws, or also for small and middle enterprises who are professionals in investment policies. And then they created in this group their own legislative solutions from our party. It's not only members of our party, but it's also people who are professionals but not members of our party. So we join them like experts, because we don't want to have monopoly to this idea. We want to write this plan that way that it will works. So a real plan of development of country. So this working in committees is also very important for development our political force. On the next level, we for sure communicate very transparently, and we have also YouTube channels, Facebook channels, and regional channels in social media. We taking part in TV shows on independent channels, because many people who are members of our party, they quite respectable experts in and professionals in their sector. So that's why we try use any media communications to give our position to voters. And of course we do offline meeting for a strategy sessions, as form of strategy session in regions of Ukraine. For example, we have strategy session in Kyiv about development on Kyiv. We have strategy session on Cherkasy. It's a little town for development of Cherkasy, and so on and so forth. And it's also very important for community building and for rising our all Ukrainian strategy with our regional strategies and municipality strategy in Ukraine. So that's why we join more and more people in our political forces, and we do it not in election cycle. So the next elections will be elections to city councils, and we will take in part on these elections, and the next elections to parliament, which is most important to have influence, really influence in our country. It will be in few years, and we have time to build really strong regional support and really strong ideas till this time. And that's why for this time we also can build our international communications, like we work here in DC, like we work in Israel, like we work in Norway, to also know the best practices and to sign partnership agreements all over the world, also to build our international policy and international strategy of development of our country. It's also very important, and it takes time. So thank you for your attention, and if you have some ideas or some interesting experience or some ideas about cooperation, for example educational programs for our party leaders and our network in Ukraine, please write to us, to National Platform, or to me, Katerina Odarchenko. It will be a pleasure to communicate with you. Thank you. Have a nice day.